Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
This is the Step Up to University module, which we normally do as a university module that we deliver to students in high schools. Normally we do that to give them a fair chance and a great opportunity to make a good transition from the schools to the university. We have a range of topics that we do, and it goes for about 12 weeks. So today is one of the topics that we'll be looking at, and we'll be considering transferable skills. So one of the things that we want to look at is the ILOs, that's the intended learning outcomes of this class today. Now, so what we'll be looking at is that at the end of this class, we should be able to identify the skills, transferable skills that we have, that we can use in the application of the UCAS, which we use in personal statements. And as well, because we are not restricting everything to just the university, we're looking at the fact that when you finish from the university, you're going to go to a particular job. So we need to as well be able to identify the skills that we'll be able to use even after the university that we can apply in whatever employments that we're going for. So the A2, the K3, and the V4 that we see there is, I just mapped that particular ILO to the UK PSF, which is the Professional Standard Framework. So we'll not go deep into that because of our time. And then also at the end of the class, students should be able to evidence transferable skills that they can use in the application, and that they can as well use for maybe cover letters that they will use for job applications. And then at the end as well, we would expect that students should be able to explain how group works, because one of the transferable skills I'll be looking at is teamwork. It's very important that we are good team players, because nobody works alone. Wherever you're going to work, it could be within an institution, a university, a school, can be in an office, in an industry, wherever it is, you don't work alone. So it's very important that we understand how team works and how group dynamics works. So one of the quick questions I would want to ask is, what are transferable skills? What are transferable skills? Now, sometimes when these words are spoken, now we look at them as though they are big things, but we actually don't understand that they are skills that we have. We use every day in our lives, in the things we do. For instance, on the breakfast table, when you're talking to your family, your children or your wife or whoever, that is a communication skill. You're actually passing on information, and when you listen back when someone speaks, that's a listening skill. So these are skills that we have every day, and we use them in our everyday life. So we're talking about the skills that you use in school, you use it in work, or even in your personal life, and that are relevant to the study that you've been doing at university or even in your employment. So these are transferable skills. And like I also said, we can finish this class today and we go out and you stand by the corridor and you're talking to your friends. That is transferable skills, and so on. But we'll look at a few of them later on. So like I said, it's very important that we identify and recognize the skills that we have, which, like I said, we should be able to evidence them in our UCAS applications, personal statements. So we'll look at that. Now, when we're talking about evidencing the skills that you have, the personal skills, that they are transferable skills that you have, I've got a list here, but apart from this list, what other transferable skills can we talk about? So I'm going to give us some papers here. I would like you to have a look at them. You have a look at the papers, and okay, now if we look down at the papers that were given, we can see some list of transferable skills. And if we go down on the list here on the paper, we can as well see even additional ones. So what is going to happen is, I would want us to engage ourselves. So we just want to have a quick, just a class exercise or a class work. I would want us in pairs to identify the skills that we think we have in the categories. I've given us a list. Apart from the main ones that are listed there, we as well have some lists down at the bottom of the page, the page 4 that we have. So in pairs, I would like us to just discuss some of the transferable skills that we can identify in ourselves, in the work we do, in the jobs we do, or at the university, in school, or in whatever walks of life that you think you can. So maybe in twos, if we can just pair up, I'll come around and as well have a chat with us to see how that works out. Okay. So we've got written communication skill, which is under communication, verbal communication, team working, leadership, negotiating, decision making, time management. We have planning, we have organizing, creativity, problem solving, flexibility or adaptability. So I want us to just have a quick discussion and see which ones we will be able to identify that we use every day.
Team working, collaboration, working together. Even in our personal life, church, we are given understanding to do some other groups of people. Their leadership. Some of us we have led small teams. Maybe
starting from the family.
Yeah, the family. Sometimes maybe in the church you are given to lead a group. So
Bible study group,
yeah. And negotiating. Negotiating has to do
with like games, trying to get the best out of situation.
That's like money of
decision making. You evaluate, you gather information
about even the university, the course you want to do, the area of research you want to go to, what are the things to make.
You put all the information together and then you decide, this is what I'm going to do, based on the quality of information you gather.
The time management.
You don't have all the time.
Deadline.
So
there are deadlines too.
So you always have to work.
Reports.
Write reports and all of that.
We all have, I would say we all have fairly similar skills.
Okay. So you can see from the discussion that we have, and I've gone around and I listened to some of the discussions, they are actually skills that we use every day. For instance, if you're talking about, say, written communication skill, it's a skill that we use all the time. You know, we write essays, we write assignments, courseworks and all that. We use written communication skills. We write letters to families and all that. We apply the written communication skills. So that is very important. And then if you look at verbal communication skill, like I said, it just be discussion among your friends. Or we can go as high as making it a formal presentation when you might be defending a coursework, or you're making a presentation to a group of people. or it could be a proposal for something, and so on. So yeah, we use all that, but particularly I would want to talk a little bit more on team working, because if you remember I talked about looking at group dynamics. Now, there was something I learned about teamwork, which if you use team as an acronym, that has actually made me to learn something which has helped me. So if we go with T, and then we have the E, and then we have A, and then we have the M here. Now this is team. So what I learned, if you use this as an acronym, is that T can stand for together, and then E can stand for everyone, and then A represents achieve, and then M represents more. And this is very, very true, that when we work together, everyone achieves more. And that is the truth, because when we work together, we generate a lot of synergy, and the results we produce is far stronger and better than what each individual produces, even if they are put together. So that is very important. And also we understand that in teamwork or in group work, now certain things might actually happen, because in the teamwork, sometimes there could be disagreements, because you are not alone, and everyone has his own ideas, and so there could be disagreements, and sometimes in a group or in a teamwork, someone might tend to be very domineering, and he wants to say all the things, he wants his own idea to be accepted. But again, like I said, we don't work in isolation, we work with people, we work in team. We have to find a way to work with people, to agree with them. Now, for instance, you're going to the university, you're going to meet people from all over the world. People are coming from Africa, from Asia, from other parts of Europe, and even America. You don't know them, you might not even understand some of their accents. You have to find a way to work with them. And that is what happens as well when you even go outside the university. You don't recruit those people, the company recruits them, but you have to work with them. So there are things that we have to learn about group work, and there are people that could be so quiet, so laid back, that they don't even make a contribution. But one thing we have to understand is we have to give everyone a chance. Some people might need to be, to be prompted to do something. And one important fact about allowing such people to talk is they might come up with the very best idea or the very best solution to what we're talking about. So like I said, there are lots of things that we can look at about that. If you want to talk about time management, it also talks about how your interests and your hobbies are still there. You don't just dump them because you're in the university or because you're working. You still enjoy your interests, you still have your hobbies, but at the same time, you're able to balance between work and those interests. And that speaks volume about your time management skills, which is very important in everyone's life. You're able to balance things, and you're able to meet deadlines, and you manage your time well. So like I said, there are lots of them that we can talk about and look at them. So as part of the homework, you're going to go home and look at them. I've given you the list there. You work on them and identify which ones you have, and see how you can evidence them in your UCAS application. And if you're as well writing a cover letter for the job application, you want to consider how you can evidence them. And then finally, in terms of class exercise, one of the things I want us to consider is, I want us to look at which ones we think, the point 3 there, if you have identified any areas which you are struggling to evidence, you might need to consider how you can develop to experience and to be able to demonstrate those skills. So I want us to, again in pairs, just discuss how we think, okay, there are areas that we're not doing very well, and we think we can develop those skills that we'll be able to evidence them in our personal statement of UCAS application or in our cover letter for job applications. Okay, so we can see that apart from acquiring the transferable skills, we can as well develop in those skills. We can develop those skills so that we can get better at them. For instance, if you're talking about listening, listening is a very good transferable skills. But again, we can learn to be able to listen very well, and it's a skill that we can develop. So in order to close this class, I want to look at the summary, or you can call it conclusion. So we have been able to identify transferable skills that we have from the class activity that we have done, the discussion among ourselves. We've been able to see the transferable skills that we have that we can use, which will be very, very important for our study in higher education and as well as in graduate employment. And as well, we have seen how we can evidence that in our UCAS application, and it's part of the homework that you're going to go and look deep and see how you can write that in an articulate way in your UCAS application personal statement, or as we have mentioned, in any cover letter that you want to write for a job application. So we also have seen from our discussion that we can now clearly explain how group dynamics work, how things can happen in the group, how we can develop more skills in our teamwork. And we've also seen how in team, when we work together in agreement, we produce more results, because in a team, when everyone works, then we have more results, because together we achieve more results. So thank you very much. Any questions? Do you have any questions?